Welcome to the Cristo Rey Network College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Nashira and I will be your facilitator. Before you get started, a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off so panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. This is just one of many different sessions happening. So I hope you were able to check out all the schedule on the website to see the other presentations. This presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Cristo-Rey. I'd now like to turn it over to our first presenter, Southern Illinois University, Carbondale.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rachel Jackson, and I am one of two regional admission coordinators here in the Chicagoland area for Southern Illinois University, Carbondale. I am going to share my screen. All righty. Southern Illinois University, Carbondale is about 4.5 hours south of Chicago. It's a straight shot on 57. Jump on 57, it's a straight shot. You ride that about 4 hours and you'll run right into Carbondale, Illinois. We are one of 12 state schools here in Illinois. We are a public institution. We have over 200 programs for students to major in, and our student-teacher ratio is 13:1. What does that mean? That means that class sizes are relatively small, which allows for your professor to have a relationship with you and for you to in turn have a relationship with your professor as well. In regards to our transportation, it's really easy to get to our campus. We are near an Amtrak station. The Amtrak station is about 5 minutes walking distance from our campus. Also, freshman students can have vehicles. So if you have a car and you would like to bring your vehicle to Carbondale, you can do so. You would just have to purchase a parking sticker. We also have what's called the Saluki Express. That's what students utilize to get around on campus from class to class. That's also what you would utilize to get around off of campus if you would like to run to the mall. Yes, we do have a mall in Carbondale, but if you would like to run to Walmart to replenish your snacks for your dorm room, you would utilize the Saluki Express as well. We also have what's called the Night Safety Transit. The Night Safety Transit is usually our off-duty campus police that drive the night safety transit transportation. And they usually pick up students if they're on campus rather late, or if they're off campus and need to get back to their dorm or their apartment, you would just call the night and safety transit and they'll be more than happy to come and pick you up and take you to your destination. In regards to our housing, we have what's called an anytime meal plan. So that means that anytime, day or night, you can utilize our dining facility. We also have all utilities are included, of course, in your stay in the residence hall. We also have what's called a living and learning community. Living and learning community means that you can opt to stay on the floor with other students in the same program that you're in. So let's say you're a nursing student or engineering student, you can choose on your housing application to stay on the same floor with other students in the same program that you are in. With our housing, it is suite style. Suite style meaning you would have your own room, your suite mate would have their own room, and then the two of you would share the common area, which is the washroom. It is on a first come, first serve basis. So if SIU is a school that you're highly interested in and you are considering attending SIU, and you know this is where you would like to attend, you want to go ahead and complete your housing contract. That way you'll be guaranteed to have your own room. As I mentioned, we do have an anytime meal plan. The dining facility usually opens at 7 in the morning and it closes at around 8 o'clock at night. So that anytime meal plan means that you can take advantage of the dining facility as many times as you'd like to. If you would like to go and grab lunch, go back and grab lunch after lunch, not a problem. You can definitely do that with your anytime meal plan. If any of you have ever been to any hibachi style restaurant, Hamada, Wu's House, Benihana, we have our own hibachi style restaurant on our campus in one of our dining halls, and it's called the Grill at True Blood. They'll prepare the food directly in front of you, and if you have dietary restrictions, you definitely can let them know, and they'll be more than happy to accommodate you. We have over 300 registered student organizations on our campus. Those range from Greek organizations to religious organizations, the chess club, the list goes on and on. If you are interested in joining a organization, I highly recommend taking a look at the different clubs or organizations that we have on our campus. And if you have an interest, and let's say we don't have that club or organization at our campus, you can you can start your own club or organization. You would just need a faculty advisor to be your liaison. In regards to activities, we also have 15 Division I sports teams. Those range from our basketball team, football, ladies basketball as well, baseball, softball. And we recently, in the last year and a half, almost 2 years, we recently got a women's soccer team. Everyone in Carbondale was really, really excited about having a women's soccer team on our campus. All right, now we're getting to the juicy stuff. This is an estimated cost of tuition, and I do have to emphasize this is an estimated cost. This cost of tuition is based on 30 credit hours, okay? 30 meaning if you were to take 15 credit hours in the fall and 15 credit hours in the spring. Let's say you were only going to take 12, then of course that cost of tuition would decrease. This also includes your fees and room and board. In regards to room and board, I do get this question often. Freshman students, yes, are required to stay on campus that first year. Now, freshman year, you stay on campus. If you decide, after talking with your family that you would like to move off of campus and get an apartment, have a roommate, whatever the case may be, you can definitely do that. And that overall cost is going to decrease that room and board cost, okay? Also, what's incorporated in the fees is SIU's medical insurance. If you currently have insurance and you're gonna keep the insurance that you currently have, if you're on your parent or guardian's insurance, and you're gonna keep that insurance while being a student at SIU, not a problem. There is a waiver that you can complete, and that will decrease your fees by $2,000, okay? So also keep that in mind as well. These are a few of the merit-based scholarships that we offer. We have the Saluki Maroon, Silver, and Gold. These scholarships are based on a student's GPA, okay? And they are renewable. So if you get, let's say, the Saluki Maroon scholarship your freshman year, you will also receive those funds. You'll also receive those funds your sophomore year as well. These are a few other scholarships that we offer. The University Excellence and the Chancellor Scholarship, which is our full ride scholarship at SIU. With the Chancellor Scholarship, you would do an application. There's also an essay that you would complete as well. And there's an interview. Last year, because of our current circumstances, the interview was via Zoom. And so these are a few of the scholarships that we do offer. With the Chancellor Scholarship, the GPA is a 3.8 or above. And if a student has these, meet these requirements, I highly recommend for you to apply for the Chancellor Scholarship. And the other scholarships that I did show are awarded automatically, so you don't have to do a separate application for those. These are a few of the requirements. So for automatic admission into SIU, it's a 2.75 GPA out of a 4.0. Let's say a student may not have that 2.75 GPA. No worries at all. We do have an alternative admission program for students, and that's called our exploratory program. Students can be admitted into that admission program if they may not have that 2.75 GPA. We are a test optional institution, so we don't look at ACT scores or SAT scores. However, you can submit those scores if you'd like to. It's not required, but you can submit those scores if you would like to do so. In regards to our application and admission process, we would of course need your application. Right now, we do have a free application drive taking place from now until October 31st, meaning that we would not need your application fee or application fee waiver, okay? So that will be taking place from now until the end of next month. We would also need your official transcript, which can be submitted through College Board or Naviance. Also, I'm going to drop my information in the chat. That transcript can also be emailed to our office, and it can also be emailed to me as well directly. And lastly, follow us. We are on every social media platform. Yes, we do have a TikTok. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. So for updates on virtual visits that we have coming up and in-person open houses and events that we have coming up, definitely follow us on social media. Our handle is at SIU Admissions for any updates of upcoming events that we have taking place. It's been a pleasure presenting to you all. I'm gonna, like I mentioned, drop my information in the chat, and we are gonna pass it to the next presenter. And in the meantime, I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Thank you. Sorry, thank you, Southern Illinois University, Carbondale. Appreciate that. We'll next have Illinois College. Are you ready, John?
Ready to roll, yes. Well, good evening, folks. I'm glad that you're with us. Some really great schools tonight to learn about, small and large, and kind of everything in between. I'm kind of excited. I did some a little poking around today and realizing how large the Cristo Rey network has grown in recent years. I remember back in 1996, 97, going to a college fair at the original Cristo Rey here in Chicago, where I'm at, and it's grown immensely since then. So I'm John Tomaso. I'm the Associate Director of Admission for Illinois College. I work in Chicagoland. Our school actually is in Jacksonville, Illinois. So we're about 3.5 hours southwest of Chicago. We're about an hour and a half northeast of St. Louis, Missouri. Jacksonville, right near the state capital of Illinois, Springfield. So let me share my screen and just kind of share a little bit of information with each of you. This will kind of tell you a little bit about our school. So, okay. So there's kind of a shot. You can see where we're located, and look out to the distance, to the horizon in that photograph, students. We're kind of, in a rural area, I remember the first time I went to campus, I was kind of thrilled to get off the interstate and pull into this kind of old historic town. Lots of connections with Abe Lincoln. The campus is beautiful. It's kind of old and new at the same time. 1829, we were founded, so quite a long time ago. In fact, we were the first college in the state of Illinois to confer a college degree to students. So we've been around a long, long time. We were founded by some graduates of Yale University out east who came to the Midwest, came to this rural area and began Illinois College back in 1829. The town kind of grew up around the campus. So we've got a lot going on as far as, different kinds of students. I think it's really important to go to a school where you've got students from different places, as well as different kind of backgrounds. So lots of diversity, whether that's geographic diversity, as well as cultural and ethnic diversity. We've got a large group of international students. Many different states are represented at Illinois College. We're a small school. We're about 1,150 students, yet we have students from, over 30 states and just about 30 different foreign countries. So small by design, yet really rich when it comes to diversity and also to opportunity, which I'll talk more about in a minute. So again, there's a kind of our location. Jacksonville's, again, a kind of an old historic town just west of our state capital, Illinois. So I know when I work with Chicago students so often, they're kind of, when they get to campus, they're really amazed. It's quiet, it's safe, it's kind of a pristine campus. It's a quiet, relaxing location. And this might sound strange, students, but when you get to campuses, when you go to college, you need to have time to think, okay, to contemplate, quiet time. And that's important as you learn. And certainly our campus, our location lends itself to finding lots of locations where it's quiet, it's serene, and you've got that time to think and to contemplate, which is an important part of the process. Okay. So we do this thing at our school, which we call Uniquely IC, and we want to find out about our students interested. And, I know that students often have more than one area that they kind of define themselves by. And so the 4 up on the screen are 4 things you can see. But you know what? Often our students are kind of a combination. They could be a competitor and a scholar at the same time. So these are just kind of 4 different buckets, and often students, you'll find yourself in more than one of these. If you'd like to click on that QR code now, you can do this fun little quiz and kind of find out a little bit more about you and what kind of where you're going to be defined as far as these 4 different categories. So I'll give you a second if you want to click on that QR code at the bottom there. Okay. So We know, you know, that you learn in the classroom, right? You go to class every day. We have professors who teach our students. Our classes are small, they're engaging, they're interactive. They average about 17 students. But we also know that it's important to learn outside the classroom. So after some time with us, we want you to close your textbooks and leave our classrooms and kind of go out and apply what you've learned by doing different kinds of experiences, what we call experiential learning opportunities. Internships are certainly key, a chance to kind of test drive your career, kind of get a sense of, what is the right career for you, but also to meet people within that internship, make connections, develop professional relationships. And we find so many of our students who do an internship that kind of leads to a job offer when they graduate. So think of that as kind of a foot in the door to your career. We do a lot of service, and that could be service in the community as well as on our campus. We have some really cool international travel opportunities. We give each of our students a $1,000 stipend, which often can at least maybe pay for your airfare if you'd like to go to Spain or Australia or Italy or elsewhere, and not just Europe. So really lots of cool opportunities for international travel, as well as some domestic travel that we have. We call those breakaway trips, and they could be, we send a group of students to the Everglades in Florida every year to do some research down there. So research is also big on our campus, and so we fund our students doing their research, and also often our students will go out then and present at professional conferences about the research they did, and we will fund them to do their trip to go to a professional conference. So we don't let any kind of money get in the way of you going overseas or doing research, and we really help to facilitate that financially for you. So a bit about our academic programs. You can click on the QR code there and kind of get a list of those, about 50 different academic programs to choose from. I talked about our classes being small by design. And think about the students. We think you'll learn more if you're in a more engaging, interactive classroom where professors know more than your name. They know where you're from, what you study, kind of who you are as individuals, how you're involved on our campus. So professors kind of serve as your mentor over your 4-year experience. They serve also as your faculty advisor, helping you choose classes, talking about career opportunities. So they really work with you closely and kind of guide you through your 4-year experience at Illinois College. NCAA athletics, we have a pretty wide variety, 20 different sports. I think we've got some of the nicest athletic facilities for Division III schools in the Midwest. So some really, really great facilities. You can learn more about those on our website. Applying for admission, we have our own application. We are part of the Common App. Also, we work with the Coalition organization. And we've been test optional, but not since the pandemic. We've been test optional for 10 years. So what I really look at is your high school GPA and your core GPA, looking at those 5 core areas, English, mathematics, social sciences, natural sciences, foreign language. So really, I want to see how well you've done in those areas. And so we use those, that core GPA for your admission, and also for scholarship opportunities. A bit about our visits, a bit about the FAFSA, which you definitely want to fill out if you're able to. If you're unable to fill out a FAFSA, we also work with students who don't have status. We are one of the few schools in Illinois who works with a group called the Dream US Scholarship Foundation. Some phenomenal opportunities there for students unable to file a FAFSA. A bit about our finances there. We're about $45,000, which is pretty scary, students. Most students pay about maybe $10,000, $11,000 out of pocket. And some students pay less than that. 3 of the 4 schools tonight are all private schools, so our prices will be a bit larger than that state school was, but also we give out more scholarship, more grants. So in the end, it kind of balances out what your net cost will be. So remember that, it's all about net cost, not the full price of any school. A bit about that Dream US Foundation that we work with. So reach out to me if you have any questions about that. Certainly, I'd be happy to help you. And then next steps, we're going to get some information and send you some emails. We hope that you have a chance to visit our campus, whether that's virtually or in person. And so please reach out if we can be of assistance to you. There's a bit of our contact information right there. So that's about it for my 90 minutes. I want to say thanks for your attention. I appreciate it. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and turn things back over to Nashira. Thanks, students.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So now we'll have Beloit College give us their presentation.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for your time. I'm thrilled to be here, and I'll see how well I can talk as I try to get my screen shared here. So my name is Liam Daly. I work out of Boston on the East Coast and recruit students for Beloit from out here. So I'm very familiar with the Cristo Rey campus in Boston, but I know at Beloit, we get a ton of applicants from the Chicago campuses, as well as all over the place, the Houston campus, the LA campus, and a number of other places. So really happy to be chatting with you all, and honored to be presenting with 3 other great schools from the Midwest. So I'll just start here by sort of putting Beloit on a map. And I don't have a physical map like John did, but we're located in the city of Beloit, which is in southern Wisconsin, right on the Illinois border. So you can literally sort of throw a stone from campus and hit Illinois. Beloit is in Wisconsin and South Beloit is in Illinois. We're 45 minutes south of Madison, Wisconsin. And for those of you who come from further away, Madison's the capital of Wisconsin. And we're about an hour and a half west and slightly north of Chicago. So if you're coming to visit from the West Coast or the South and you're flying in, you'd probably fly to O'Hare Airport in Chicago. And then you take about an hour and a half coach bus ride right into the city of Beloit. The city itself, we're home to about 40,000 people, a international film festival, a minor league baseball team, the Snappers, where a number of our students intern. We have an award-winning farmers market, a bunch of great restaurants. And I have to be honest, when I started working at Beloit, I didn't really understand what it meant to have an award-winning farmers market. I was a little skeptical, but I quickly learned that that's a big deal in Wisconsin. So, about half the city closes down for vendors on Saturday mornings, and like 6,000 people come through on a Saturday morning, which is really kind of wild. So you got to get to the Beloit Farmers Market. But what's most important is that downtown Beloit is just about 5 minutes from campus walking. So you definitely don't need to have a car to get around. And we have a really close relationship with the city. We have a couple of our academic buildings are located downtown, and we have more than 200 local business partners where students work, volunteer, have internships, et cetera. So that's the city. As a college, we're a liberal arts college. We're home to about 1,200 students. They come from all over the world. They come from different geographic, ethnic, religious, socioeconomic, and educational backgrounds. But as a community of faculty and staff and students, we're committed to being a welcoming place, a supportive place, and we're working hard to become an anti-racist institution. And you can see that commitment in the work faculty have done, decolonizing our curriculum. You can see it in recruitment and financial aid strategies and being in a accessible and affordable place for students, but you can see it in faculty and staff hiring. You can see it in our commitment to mentorship and success. And we just opened a new lounge and work and event space on campus that's exclusively for community members of color to have a place to have events or a space to work or whatever they need. We offer a forward-looking and flexible liberal arts curriculum that encourages students to engage in real-world problems and in small classes. So one example of that would be our data science and data analytics major, where we take all the skills that employers are looking for in the data science fields, but we put them in a liberal arts context. So students are not only expected to master the art of data analysis, they're expected to do that while completing a double concentration in something like political science, so that they understand the implications and the human consequences of the research that they're doing and the data they're looking at. A third of our students double major, and the majority combine a major and a minor. Sometimes complementary programs like international business and Mandarin or something like that in the Chinese language. And sometimes in totally surprising ways, like students doing pre-med and music performance, for example. 98% of our classes are smaller than 30 students. The average class size you can see is 15. And they all feature discussion, collaboration. They're taught by faculty, and they feature opportunities for hands-on work. 35% of our students study away or study abroad. We have 100 programs in 60 different countries. And we also have 2 teaching museums on campus in art and anthropology. We have one of the first centers for entrepreneurship that was established in the nation back in the 70s. And we also have this program called the Beloit Residencies, where we bring Nobel laureates in all different disciplines to teach for a semester on campus and work directly with students. But we don't expect you to figure all that out on your own. So we have this advanced mentoring program. Probably the most unique thing about this program is that within 72 hours of deciding to come to Beloit, we're going to introduce you to your faculty advisor. So for seniors this year, you could meet your faculty advisor as early as December of this year. And work with them throughout the year to prepare for a successful transition to campus. And once you're here, they're going to work with you for the first 2 years on workshops and important skills, advising sessions. And you also have one of your first year courses is what we call an AMP intro course. So it's going to be taught exclusively to first-year students by your advisor and is built to help you learn college skills and get used to college-level academics. But it's also a real class taught in a real subject that you're excited about. So some of the, I think, cool ones that are being offered this year are things like alternative histories in the post-fact world, race and gender in early America and the Caribbean, chemistry and climate change. So those are exciting things you can do. Preparation for a successful life after college is woven into everything that we do. And it's something that you get to think about and work on and be exposed to long before you've decided what you want to do with your life. So the minute you step on campus, we're going to start helping you think about how to figure out the work you want to do after college. Just one example of that is our Career Channels program, which brings together students, faculty, staff, and alumni around shared passions and goals. So one example of that would be the Health and Healing Channel, which brings together biochem students who are on a pre-med track, political science majors who are interested in healthcare policy, and athletic coaches who are interested in training and sports medicine. So basically sort of a roadmap for all of the possible ways that your passions can be explored on campus and all the different ways that they can be turned into careers afterwards. Beloit students are curious, they're well-rounded, they're very involved, and they're also really nice. So it's not uncommon for a starter on the soccer team to also be an actor, to be a member of student government, to host their own radio show, and also volunteer. And what's most important is that your advisors, your coaches, everyone at Beloit understands that this is going to be your college experience. So there should be space in that experience for you to do everything that matters to you. You're not going to have a coach saying, oh, you don't have time to be in a theater production because you're an athlete, right? 30% of our students participate in varsity athletics. Our 55 clubs on campus range from an a cappella group to a student-run market research firm. And our student government has significant voting authority in the leadership of the college. This is definitely a place you can get involved and make things happen. And all of that experience, both in and out of the classroom, leads to 4 key skills that you're going to walk away from Beloit with. You're going to be an effective communicator, a productive collaborator, a creative problem solver, and you're going to be intellectually and professionally agile. And those are the skills that are going to allow you to be successful no matter what you do for work after college. Effective communication is just as important for engineers as it is for journalists. So it's no surprise that our grads are successful. You can see that 90% are employed or in graduate school within 6 months of graduation, and many go on to get professional degrees. So I hope you're interested in applying to Beloit. There's no application fee. There are no minimum GPAs or SAT scores or particular classes that you need to have taken to apply. We evaluate our applications holistically, which means that we use every element of what you submit to us to try to get to know you as well as we can and to imagine the way you're going to impact our campus. We welcome introverts and extroverts. We welcome athletes. We welcome activists, artists, folks with any different label they want to apply to themselves. But what we're looking for is we're looking for you to be curious. We're looking for you to be kind, and we're looking for you to want to really have a positive impact in the world. We meet on average 96% of your financial need, which means that hopefully whatever you can afford to pay is what we're going to ask you to pay. So John mentioned private colleges sometimes look more expensive, but we're going to do everything we can with financial aid to try and make the difference there and make it possible for you to attend. And I'll wrap it up there, but if you want to quickly screenshot this or take a note, that's my contact info. I'd be happy to hear from you at any time with questions about Beloit or the application process. And I hope that you'll check us out soon, whether that be in a Zoom event or an in-person event. We'd love to see you. So I'll put my contact info in the chat as well. Thank you so much for hanging out and listening, and I wish you good luck in the college process.
Thank you. Our last college for this session will be Albion College.
Thank you. My name is Robert Ryan, and I'm the admissions counselor at Albion College. I now work remotely in Chicago. Thank you for joining tonight, and I'm happy to be involved with this Cristo Rey virtual fair with the rest of these great institutions. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get started with my presentation. So Albion College, this is just a quick synopsis of what I'm going to talk about today throughout this presentation. So Albion College knowledge. Albion College is in South Central Michigan. We're about 3 hours away from Chicago. We're in between Kalamazoo, which is a pretty big city in Michigan, and Lansing, Michigan, which is also another big city. We're about 50 minutes apart from both of those cities. So if you're looking for something else to do during the weekend, if you want to get on the admin, it's a quick road to either Lansing or Kalamazoo. But a little bit about our institution enrollment. We have about 1,500 students that attend Albion College. Class size is 16. The faculty to student ratio is 11:1. So those two statistics are pretty small, pretty similar to other institutions in this fair right now, which represents that you're going to get that one-on-one connection with the professors and also your classmates as well. I think that's a real benefit for incoming freshmen and just to get to know their classmates and what they're going to go into. The next two things that you see right there is some statistics right here, placement rate and your four-year graduation rate. What the placement rate means is 6 months after you graduate from Albion College, you will either start your first professional job or you will be in graduate school. So as you can see, that rate or that percentage is very high. So we make sure that our students are graduating in 4 years and they are getting into graduate school or whatever field they want to go into after they graduate from Albion. And we are just an undergraduate school, so we have 0 graduate students on campus. Sorry about that. So admission. So at Alumni College, we take a holistic approach similar to Beloit. We kind of look at you as a whole student. We understand that you're not in the classroom doing homework 24/7. So we want to know about what you do outside of the classroom. Are you an athlete? Are you a musician? Are you in student senate or student government in your school? So we want to know about you as a whole person, not just what you do in the classroom. Application process. So this is the main things that we kind of look at as far as your application goes. As you can see, the biggest thing that you see right there is the transcript. So we like to see your 4 years of high school, of your high school career to see what your grades are looking like. We like to see your grade trend as well. So if you start off a little slow as a freshman and improve your grades over the year, that's very beneficial. And we love to see those type of scores when we start reading applications. We also take a look at your recommendations. We love to see what your professors or teachers or people that you are around has to say about you. I think it's a real benefit to get to hear and see and read what your peers are saying about you. We also take a look at your essay, your discipline history, and again, your extracurricular activity. So whatever extracurricular activity that you are in, if you're not sure of putting it on your application, do it. It will not hurt you at all. And we love to see those things that our students are doing. Another thing with the application, our baseline GPA is a 3.0. Our baseline SAT and ACT score, SAT is 1,000 and ACT is 21, but we are test optional. So it's totally up to you if you want to submit those scores. If you do submit those scores, we will not use those to hinder any of your financial aid. So if you do submit those scores, it will only help you. But like I said, those are only baselines. So there's our students that get in, that get accepted at Albion College that have a little bit of a low over 3.0 or those test scores as well. Activities. So I'm gonna go down to union board. So our union board is 100% student led, and they are in charge of doing hosting different events on campus just to keep everything more socialized and lively. A couple of events that they throw on campus, which are pretty cool. They had a virtual hypnotist that came to campus, or didn't come to campus, but they had a virtual hypnotist. It was pretty cool, pretty interesting. They were hypnotizing kids, making them do a lot of funny things. I was there, didn't get hypnotized, but it was a cool event. They had a drive-in movie night on our quad. That was pretty cool as well. And they have a bunch of different events throughout the whole entire year that they do to keep campus more buzzing. So Greek life, we also have that as well. Cool thing about us, 51% of our students are involved in Greek life. So if you're one of those students that want to be in Greek life, great. If you're not, that's good as well, because essentially the other half of our student body is not involved in any Greek life. We have over 100 clubs and organizations on campus. That's including religious clubs, academic clubs, even quirky clubs like a boating club and things like that. A cool thing about Albion is that you only need 3 students to start a new club on campus. So if you get to campus, you see a club that you want to start, and you don't have it, grab 2 of your friends, you can start a new club on campus. You can't just start the club, just say, hey, come on guys, let's start this club. You have to do some paperwork behind it. But once you do that paperwork behind that, you eventually have that club on campus. An example of that was 2 years ago, we had a group of freshmen that were involved or very interested in video gaming. We did not have a video gaming club on campus, so a bunch of freshmen started a video gaming club in 2018. And now that evolved into an actual sport on campus. So now we have esports as a sport on campus. So that's just an example of how you could start your club on campus, and eventually it may grow into an actual sport on campus if it is a sport. We also have athletics. We are a Division III sport. So we have all the main sports like basketball, men's and women's, football. We have men's and women's track and field. We have men's and women's lacrosse. We just got our esports teams, like I've just said, and we now have men and women's wrestling teams. So all of our sports are pretty competitive, and they're very good at Albion College. The cool thing about the sports programs, I was an alum and I played basketball at Albion. The sports teams really support each other. You'll see a lot of the sports, all of the athletic guys at every game, or in women as well. So it's a real good event at every sporting event. So Albionism, so we are an undergraduate school. So these institutes and centers are here to prepare you for graduate school and your professional life. And all of these institutes that you see right here are tailored to different majors and career paths. So Gerstacker is for any students that are interested in economics and management, accounting, or just want to be an entrepreneur when they graduate. We even have art students that are part of that Gerstacker program that wants to own their own art exhibits when they graduate. So it's not tailored to just not one major, but just depending on what you want to do with your career path. Our Ford Institute is for anyone that wants to go into law, policy, or criminal justice. Our Wilson Institute is for anyone that wants to go into pre-medical, pre-dentistry, or pre-veterinary majors. We also have an honors program that has specific GPA requirements per semester. And I could talk about all of these institutes in depth if you have any questions after this presentation. And our CSE is our Center of Sustainability and the Environment. Another Albionism is our Alumni Engagement. Our alums are super invested into what our current students are doing, and even prospective students. Our alumni, I'm name dropping one, his name is Austin Vitus. He's in Chicago. He is really involved in what our current students are doing. An example is junior at Albion College right now, Kamari Jones. He got in contact with Austin just because they're both from Chicago. They met, they had a great relationship, and Austin helped Kamari find an internship in Kamari's field of choice. So that's just an example of how our alumni engage with what our current students are doing. Another example, my senior year, before my senior year, the summer before, a group of alumni donated a lot of money to send the basketball team to France for free. So I had the opportunity to go to France for 10 days for free, and it was a great experience. Saw a lot, and that was only because of alumni donated that money to send us over there. So alumni really take care of our current students and prospective students. Last but not least, I just want to leave it off right here. This is our affordability. We have merit-based scholarships ranging from $3,000 to $4,000 per year. We have Albion Commitment. If you come visit us on campus, you get a $1,000 visit scholarship. Then we also have individual need-based packages based on your FAFSA status. Again, any specific questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Perfect, thank you. So I invite everyone to have their cameras back on as we embark in our Q&A. There is a question in the Q&A box. And so Beloit has already answered that question. If others would like to answer for a student, that would be great. So I am going to start with Southern Illinois University, Carbondale. What advice would you give someone going through the college search process?
That's a great question. Some advice that I would offer that student is to partner with your college and career coach or your high school counselor, and do some research. Find the school that you feel may be the best fit for you. Also, visit the schools that you may have an interest in. If there's a school, whether it's in Illinois, not in Illinois, whatever the case may be, during spring break, or whenever you have the opportunity, definitely try to go and visit that campus just to get a feel for the school and see if that institution is the best fit for you.
Thank you. Illinois College, what's one thing you want students to remember about your school?
Gosh, good question. I can talk about tradition, I could talk about affordability, I could talk about rigor, I could talk about fun, but I guess if I use one term to describe Illinois College, it's community, a place where people not just know each other, but support each other, kind of look out for each other. And that's faculty, that's students, that's staff. And so you're really in a place much like Cristo Rey, where I bet you're at those high schools because there's a strong sense of community. You'd feel the same thing certainly at Illinois College.
Awesome, thank you. Beloit College, what is one myth you'd like to debunk on the college admissions process?
That's a great question. John already mentioned this, but I think one of the biggest things is that, if you don't have a ton of finances available yourself or from your family, that you're limited to a particular kind of college that you can attend. Certainly, you don't want to set your heart on one particular college to the exclusion of all other options. I think, that can set you up for disappointment, but you should, if you're interested in a school, there's a whole wide array of different schools that you should explore that are going to see you for the amazing student that you are and make it possible financially for you to go to that school. They really discourage students to take a school off their list this time of year, September, October, because they've just looked at the total cost on the website and haven't dug into the possible financial aid that's available. We're a private school. We're a super expensive school. Our tuition and room and board all put together is over $65,000. And we have students who pay zero, right? And that's not every student, but we could end up being cheaper than any other option for you. So it's always worth exploring every school.
Thank you. And Albion College, do you mind ending with what advice you would give someone going through the college search process?
Yeah, my advice would be to visit as many schools as you can that you're interested in. You never know what you may see in person at this actual school, and it's just a different feeling being in person at the school. Obviously, last year we couldn't have some visits because of COVID, so that would be my biggest advice: is to, if you can, if you're able to, if your family is able to, try to visit as many schools as you can.
All right, thank you. And thank you all for joining us this evening. When you close this window, there'll be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. We encourage you to check, we encourage you to check strivescan.com/Cristo-Rey for any of the session recordings today, as well as this session's recording. Thank you so much, and you all have a lovely evening.